What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Friday night's late night news roundup, where I'm going to be taking you through some of the embargoed section of Arne Slot's pre-Brighton press conference. He's been speaking about Ibrahima Konate and his contract situation, a little bit about Curtis Jones, as well as that we're going to discuss the future of Mohamed Salah, and of course a couple of other bits and pieces over the next few minutes. A reminder, we'll be starting our watch along tomorrow at 6:45 p.m. to take you through the FA Cup game against Brighton, and don't forget to enter our giveaway where you can win a signed Jurgen Klopp frame shirt completely free. Scan the QR code below or use the link in the description for further details. And thank you to our friends at the Collectors Corner. You can treat yourself to 20% off anything store-wide at thecollectorscorner.co.uk by using our discount code Anfield Agenda 1 at checkout. Right, so we're going to start off with Arne Slot speaking about Ibrahima Konate and his contract situation. This is what our head coach had to say. We're in talks with him, so that tells you what we want. It's clear we would like him to stay. Negotiations are ongoing. Let's see where that ends. We wouldn't be in negotiations if we didn't want him to stay. Now, this kind of brings me back to something I mentioned the other day about Virgil van Dijk saying that he didn't want to leave it that late for his contract negotiations to take place. So why is this a growing trend at Liverpool where we're seeing more and more players get right into the final few months of their season before they are finally getting into the nitty-gritty of extending or not extending? And also, what do you think happens? I mean, I feel a little bit more hopeful after Virgil came out the other day and said that he wants Konate to stay. He's trying to get him to stay, but there's only so much that he can do. So let us know where you think this one ends up. Obviously, we know that recently he's been back to himself after the sad passing of his father. He's been able to buckle down and, look like the player that we've become accustomed to at Liverpool. But let me know your thoughts on that one for EB in the future. Will he renew at Liverpool or will he go elsewhere? One option that is off the table for Liverpool, of course, is Dayot Upamecano. He has extended with Bayern Munich. That contract will keep him there until 2030. There's been some links in the media to Liverpool in the move for Toulouse centre-back Charlie Cresswell. Some pieces reporting that Liverpool will be interested in around 28 to 35 million euro. There was another report that we touched on in the late night agenda tonight as well, linking Liverpool with a move for Athletic Club Bilbao's Nico Williams. The piece said that Liverpool are prepared to pay the 95 million euro release clause to bring him in to be a Mohamed Salah replacement in the summer. And on that, there was a couple of reports about Mo's future. Paul Joy said that there's interest from Al Ittihad in the Saudi Pro League and that they're looking to bring in some star players this summer. And then there was Jack Lusby was saying that Liverpool are open to the idea of allowing Mohamed Salah to go this summer because he has 1 year to run on his deal. Now, that kind of made me chuckle a little bit, not because of anything that Jack said, but it's not a surprise to Liverpool that Salah has 1 year to go on his contract. We knew that when they extended him for 2 years last summer. So, yeah, I just think if they are willing to let him go, it may be because they feel his best days are behind him. But either way, I think that decision should and will lie with whatever Mohamed Salah wants to do. Right, Graham Potter, the Swedish international coach, has been speaking a little bit about Alexander Isak and his injury. He said, I hope they, Isak and Kulusevski, can play, but these are big injuries. It's tough to come back from injuries like that by March, but there is a chance. Yes, I've spoken to both of them. They're both on their way back and are optimistic. They're working very hard at home in the club team to attempt to play with us in March. Now, we did see a little bit of Isak out there at the AXA doing some light ball work. Now, I've no idea how far away from getting into competitive action he is, but it is great to see him finally at least on the grass doing a few little bits and pieces. And fingers crossed we have Mr. Isak back with us soon. So, Arne Slot on Mohamed Salah's output in front of goal, this is what he had to say. There could be multiple reasons for that. It could be the opponent is even more aware of his threat after such a great season last season, or having so many different right backs behind him for the whole season has influenced that dynamic. I could come up with 5 or 6 more reasons. What I do see is that in general, the team generates just as many chances as we did last season. The team has the most ball possession in the league. I also see us being able to bring our forwards and not only Mo into very promising positions in many games. So it'll be a combination of factors. Even last season, Mo had a period where he scored he scored 7 in 4 games, I think, and then 5 or 6 games where he didn't score. So let's see where he's at the end of the season when it comes to goals and assists. Now, some of that is common sense, and I agree with Arna on. Some of it, though, I disagree with a little bit. Like, we might be the team with the highest possession in the Premier League, but it's what we're doing with that possession. A lot of the time, we seem to be just moving the ball for keeping the ball's sake. At least that's been a gripe for many of us Liverpool fans this season. Arne Slot also had a little bit to say on Curtis Jones and his future. He said it's perfectly normal that very good players are of interest to big clubs like us trying to extend with him and clubs wanting to sign him. If you go to the end of your contract, it's normal that other clubs think maybe there's a deal that can be done. But he's a Liverpool player, and I think I've said a few times he's a very good player and the only line we don't have issues with in midfield. He's been here the last 18 months. He's played more time than he ever has at Liverpool, so that tells you a lot about the development that he's made. But he is also in competition with a lot of players that I also like, and they've done very well for this club as well. So yes, he will be part of the plans for the upcoming weeks, months, and for next season. That's all very well and good though, but of course, we know that if he is with Liverpool next season, he is also into the last year of his contract, which is a situation we've unfortunately seen too many times for Liverpool fans liking over the past few years. A little bit to finish up with again from Arne Slot on Ibrahima Konate, and this is what he's had to say. It's just as good from him as from Virgil. I'm sure there is a difference in age, and that sometimes plays a part as well. Ibu has had a very good spell recently, which I think we'll all agree with Arna he has. He certainly looked more like himself, more like the centre-back that we've become used to seeing at Liverpool over the last few years. He had a lot of good games earlier in the season, but then there was a part and the reason why we conceded a goal. His general performances were good, but then a small mistake he made immediately led to a goal, and so he was judged differently. But he's having a very good partnership with Virgil since I've been here. Just like Virgil, he's always been fit. Touch wood, these two are vital for us, not only because of the quality they have, but because of the lack of options we have behind. And that is part of the worry here, is that if we don't renew Ibrahima Konate's contract and he doesn't extend, well, we are in a rebuilding mode already. And that partnership, that one consistent that we've had this season, is no longer there. We know Giovanni Leone looks like a really promising young player. We know Jeremy Jacquet is a highly regarded young centre-back. But that nucleus of Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate has been, well, pivotal. And as Arne said, and he's not wrong, he's been fit more than I can remember in any season gone by this year, Ibrahima Konate. Normally, we'd be talking about a couple of muscle injuries and stuff like that from the big man. But this season, he's been pretty bulletproof from an injury perspective. So that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen, for now. A reminder, of course, that we'll be live from 6:45 tomorrow to take you through the FA Cup game against Brighton. No VAR in this one, so it's the old-fashioned just look towards the linesman for a flag. If there's nothing there, well, work away. So that is it for me for tonight. But again, appreciate all of your support. Look forward to catching up with you tomorrow, where hopefully we can book our place in the next round of the FA Cup and push towards a little bit more silverware. Appreciate you. We'll talk then. Bye-bye.